Our first and probably the most important tool is the brush. There can be a lot of varieties of brushes, so we're gonna take a look at a few and we're gonna understand which one is for what and what you should start with on your puppy. First, let's talk about the varieties of brushes. There can be a lot of varieties when it comes to brushes, so we're gonna take a look at a few. They can be made of plastic, wood and coated with some sort of plastic thingy, and general super fancy wood like this one. As for type, there can be slicker brushes like these two, pin brushes like this side and this one, and there can be combos like this double-sided pin and bristle brush. First, for puppies, I suggest something like this, and we're gonna talk about why. I'm gonna put these guys down here, and let's take a look. The bristle brush side is perfect for super young, few-week-old puppies where the breeder can just stroke them gently so they can get used to new sensations. Like whenever we train our kids to differentiate between the sensation of walking on sand, pebbles, or concrete, or grass, or dirt, or water, everything feels different. Puppies are in the same shoes. They need to get used to the sensations of hands, bristle side, pin side, and later down the road, the little bit more pokey, slicker brush. But we're gonna do it incrementally, in smaller increments. So, this one is perfect for super young puppies. I like the other side whenever they get a little bit older, like 6-8 weeks, when you can go wild with this side when the metal is meeting the skin. This brush is particularly awesome because it has little balls on the tip, so it's gonna feel like incredible, like a massage, so your doggy will be like rubbing their butts against the brush to get a little bit more of this. I highly recommend getting one of these for breeders and give it away with the doggy, with the puppy, whenever they go to their new homes, because they can bring the smell of old home to the new home, and combining that with a grooming tool is just the best combination. So I highly recommend this one for breeders. In case your puppy did not come with one of these, you can still get them and use it so they can get used to brushing. You can use it all over the doggy's body. I suggest you, until you get the hang of it and your doggy gets the hang of it, you go anywhere but on the head. And that way you can stay safer and you're gonna be able to do it with normal heart rate throughout the mini grooming sessions at home. Another reason why I like this brush a lot is because whenever we are working on the pin side on a little bit older puppies, like 8-10 weeks, they usually start to try to bite the brush. And whenever we are using the one-sided pin brush, like this one, their teeth will end up hitting the wood, which is not the end of the world, but it's certainly way more comfortable whenever their teeth end up on the bristle side. So it's not gonna be like that tricky sensation, and their mood will be a little bit different than with this experience. So I'm not suggesting you need to get your doggy used to biting this end, but they can get a much better experience throughout the grooming whenever their teeth hit this side, so they wouldn't get discouraged by, oh, grooming is not fun. I use this tiny slicker brush for short hair doggies, like up to 1/2 inch long hair or super thin coat, only after the bath. I use it for blow drying. I like it because whenever the coat is thinner and the skin is more exposed on a wet dog, this will help you keep the skin safer, keep the doggy comfy, yet still do the super fluffy drying so your doggy can get a haircut. Now, you don't have to use it for super young puppies. It's just a later down the road tool that it's good to have, and handy to use on puppies to keep the skin safe. In case your doggy has a really thick coat, this tool is not going to work that well. Your doggy will hate it, so will you, because it's going to get stuck in the coat, and your doggy will not be happy about it because it's going to pull on the skin, because it has a lot more pins than the other one, than this one or the pin brush, and your doggy will be like, this is not for me. So don't use it on longer, thicker coats, just thin or shorter coats like 1/2 inch. This brush costs around $60. This one costs around 16, and so does this one, or 20, something like that. I will include the link to each of these, and this is somewhere in the same price category. It has a little bit shorter pins though. go with the longer pins because you want to reach the depth of the coat. That's one of the most common mistake of parents, that whenever they are brushing the dog or combing the dog, they won't go deep enough to the skin, and there's going to be a layer really matted by the skin, and the dog will get a short shave as a result. And we definitely want to avoid that. It's really heartbreaking to show parents that, hey, this is a bunch of your doggy's hair, and I can see on 80% of the coat that you were putting so much effort and energy in, but the rest of the coat, that 20% by the skin, is super matted. So it had to go nice and short, like almost a buzz cut. So we want to avoid that. Get a comb and brush that has long pins, like around at least an inch long pins. That will be perfect. Whenever it comes to tangles and mats developing in the coat, you want to use a slicker brush. Now, there are a few varieties of those, and I'm just showing you a few of these, the high-end ones and the one on the budget, but it will get you very similar results like the high-end ones. So these are the Chris Christensen Big K slicker brushes. This is the baby version and this is the medium version. You're not gonna need the large one. That's not the comfiest way to brush doggies because it's working on a way too big surface, in my opinion, to still stay on the gentle side of the grooming. So get the big one in case your puppy is going to be bigger, since it's quite a bit of investment. I don't want you to buy two of these, use this one for a month and then need to buy another one. So you can work around tricky spots using the medium one as well in case your dog is going to be medium or standard size doodle. In case your doggy is like a schnoodle or cockapoo, then get the baby one, and that's gonna be totally fine throughout the life of the doggy, because you're gonna be able to reach trickier spots like between the legs and butt area, whatnot, since it's small enough. The alternative to these two, to open up tangles and mats and just do general maintenance on the doggies while they are a little bit older, like 4+ months of age, is the Siento slicker brush. You need to do a little bit of maintenance with this one because it comes with a crazy amount of pins. So you need to trim out every other row. As you can see, it's trimmed out. And you need to open up the pins to be 150 degrees. Like, let me show you. This is the angle of the pins right now. No, right now. And this comes like this, with this angle. And we want to open it up a little, so it's gonna be just gliding through the coat and opens up the tangles and mats gently. Super important step, totally worth the 10-minute investment to open up the pins. You can use a duckbill plier. There's gonna be a separate tutorial video on how to do it. Your doggy will love you for this little adjustment. Excellent. Summing this up, for puppies, you're gonna need a pin brush to get used to the sensation of brushing and little maintenance on the coat, and you're gonna need a slicker brush to deal with tangles and the mats. Now let's talk combs.